Welcome to part 4 of learning to play Engelbert Humperdinck's Evening Prayer from his 1873 opera Hänsel and Gretel. Let's ring on! All right, folks, we've almost made it to the end of evening prayer, and by end, I guess we mean beginning. But if you haven't made it to the end of evening prayer, jump in the iCard up here and find the previous tutorial videos that have worked from the beginning all the way back to measure 9. And today we are going to learn the first 8 measures. So let's go ahead and jump right in. If we look in measure 9, where we left off, we had started that in an A5 in the right hand. And so working backwards from there into measure 8, on beat 3, we find ourselves with a D5. And that'll be in our left hand, which is good because that is the direction of this jump. And then going back to beat 1 of measure 8, we have the E5 in our right hand. Going back another beat, F sharp is in our left hand. F sharp repeats on beat 3 in our left hand. And then at the beginning of beat 7, we have a couple of G5s, and those will be in our right hand. So let's go ahead and pick up the G5 in our right hand and the F sharp 5 in our left hand, and we're going to take this out of time. So here's beat 1, and we repeat beat 2, no problem. We can damp this on our shoulder or on the table as we play the F sharp 5 in our left. And when we repeat that, we can set down that G5 to play the F sharp 5 again. While we're doing that, we pick up the E5 in our right hand. And that's a half note, so we have plenty of time to put down the F sharp and pick up the D5, and here's beat 3. And that's just a quarter note long. So when we damp that, we can put the E5 down at the same time and pick up the A and be ready for it at the beginning of measure 9. Let's do that again. And this is a really simple weaving passage here, right? So it's just G5, F5, F sharp 5, E5, and D5. Remember our fundamentals. Always look for those weaving passages and make them nice and smooth. Here we go. We can jump right into doing this in time with a G5 in our right hand and an F sharp 5 in our left. Here we are. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Good. One more time. G5 in our right, F sharp 5 in our left. Here we go. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Off. 1. There we go. Let's go ahead and work back from there into measure 6. So in measure 6 on beat 3, we have an E5, and that'll be in our left because, of course, we just came from the right hand on the G5 in measure 7. And working backwards now into beat 2, we see we have a pair of eighth notes. The and is a D5, and then the beat 2 is another E5. So that E5 is going to be a quick shoulder damp on the and of 2 as we play the D. Real simple. And as we go back into the beginning of beat 6, that takes us to F sharp 5, and that'll be in our right hand. Working backwards a little further, we find another F sharp and beat 4 of measure 5, so that's still in the right hand. Going backwards from there then, that would put the A5 in our left hand, and it repeats again on beat 2. And then finally we get to beat 1 of measure 5, and that's a D6 in our right hand. Let's go ahead and walk through this passage one beat at a time. Pick up our D6 in the right hand and our A5 in the left hand. So here's the D6 on beat 1. And then we'll put that down as we play the A5 in our left. And we take a step to our left as we repeat that A5 on beat 3 and pick up the F sharp 5. As we play the F sharp 5, we're going to go ahead and damp this on the shoulder and lean to our right so that we have room to put down the A5. Now we're on beat 1, and we're going to lean back to the left and maybe even take a step so that we're moving towards that E5. So here's beat 1, and we're picking up that E5. And here's where we have to move quickly, because we only have an eighth note to get rid of the F sharp 5 and pick up the D5. It's not a problem. I don't think this calls for a four-in-hand choreography. The tempo is slow enough that you can do this smoothly. So here's beat 2 with the E5, quick move to pick up the D5, play that on the and then set it back down when you play the E5 again. For a beat and a half, there's a little eighth rest as we go for the G5 and play that on beat 1. Let's walk through that again, shall we? So pick up the D6 in our right hand for measure 5, pick up the A5 in our left hand, and here we go. Here's beat 1, D6. Beat 2 is an A5 as we step to the left. Play that A5 again, pick up the F sharp 5, lean to our right to set down the A5. Here's your F sharp. Take a step to the left towards that E5 to be ready. Here's the beat 1 F sharp, play it low to the table so we can get rid of it. And here's beat 2 and 3. And pay attention to that eighth rest here as you go for the G5. And there's beat 1. Okay, you might need to back this up and walk through it a couple of times. Go ahead and do that now. And when you're ready, we will go ahead and do this in time. So here we go in time. Measure 5, we have D6 in our right hand, A5 in our left, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2. There you go. Let's do that again. Measure 5. D6 in our right hand, A5 in our left, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1. There we go. All right. Well, we have 4 more bars to go, but 2 of them are blank, so we'll just work on these measures 4 and 3. Here we go. So measure 5, we started with the D6 in our left hand, and as we back up, we find that we actually are coming from an A5 in our left on those last 2 beats of measure 4. So that A5 is already going to be in our hands at the start of measure 5. We're going to mark that with an S for a shoulder damp. And then we go back to beat 2, and hey, what do you know? It's still an A5, so that's still in our right hand. And then we move to beat 1 of measure 4. That's going to be a B5 in our right hand. And moving back now to beat 4 of measure 3, it's our good friend, the A5, still in our left hand, so that's another shoulder damp. And then going back from there is the F sharp 5 in our right hand, which repeats again on beat 2. And then finally we land on beat 1, which has us starting off with a D5 in our left hand. If you're playing this as a duet, in the Victor Alguma arrangement, your partner will play that D instead of you. And so you'll start on beat 2 with the F sharp in your right hand. But we're learning the solo part in this tutorial, so we'll go ahead and work through these now, 1 beat at a time, starting with the D5 in our left hand and the F sharp 5 in our right. So here we go. Here's beat 1, the D5. And then we set that down as we play the F sharp 5 and repeat that F sharp 5 as we pick up the A5, ring the A5 now in our left hand, shoulder damp it as we play the B5 on beat 1 of measure 4. Set the B5 down as we play the A5 on beat 2. And here's beat 3 and 4. Gives us enough time now to pick up the D6 in our right hand for measure 5. Not bad. Let's do that again. Holy smokes, we almost know how to play the entire piece. Here we are. Measure 3, beat 1. Picking up the D5 in our left hand and the F sharp 5 in our right. One more time, out of time. Here's beat 1, the D5. And we set that down to pick up the F sharp 5 and play that on beat 2. And beat 3 gives us time to pick up the A5 in our left hand. So here's beat 4, and we set down the F sharp. And we'll shoulder damp that A5 as we play the B at the start of measure 4. There's B5. And we'll set that back down to play the A5 again in our left hand. And it repeats on beat 3 and continues through beat 4 as we pick up the D6 to start measure 5 right here. Okay, let's do that in time, those two measures, and then we'll start putting things together. All right, measure 3. Pick up the D5 in our left hand, F sharp in our right. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. There we go. Think we can go ahead and put that together with the next couple of measures? I think so. Here we go. Measure 3. D5 in our left, F sharp in our right. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1. There we go. I think we're about ready to put everything together that we've learned today. But before we do that, I want to say thank you to Marvin for his contributions to making all of this possible. And I'd like to invite you to join in your support of this. And you don't just have to do that by going to danielreck.com/buildbetterbrains and learning about the different ways that you can be a patron or a sponsor on these videos. You can also do it in ways that are totally free but make a big difference, like jumping in the comments below to ask a question or make a suggestion, or by sharing these videos with other handbell musicians or people who you think should become handbell musicians. I'd also like to take a moment to thank forzandoArts for providing this studio, as well as all these wonderful instruments. You can learn about renting and purchasing handbell performance equipment, including instruments, at forzando.art/instruments. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to take all the way from measure 3. Beat 1. All right, you have a D5 in your left hand, an F sharp 5 in your right. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. There we go. I was a little late on picking up that A5 there, but I know that we'll do it more smoothly the next time. We all make mistakes. It's all about learning from them. When you're playing in front of an audience, you will make a mistake, and you have a decision to make in that moment. Do you continue on, in which case your audience probably won't notice, or do you freak out? I'm going to vote for continuing on, just like we're going to do right now, as we now play the entire piece, measure 3, all the way through measure 23. Here we are, beat 1, measure 3. Pick up the D5 in our left hand, the F sharp 5 in our right, 2 beats, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, off. Wow. Isn't this a wonderful piece to play? And congratulations, you've made it all the way through evening prayer, thanks to your hard effort and sticking to it through all of these tutorials. I'm really appreciative of your effort. And I know there's some things that you'd still like to polish up. Okay, that pun was really not intended, I'm sorry. But polishing your music is good. Now that you've added this piece to your repertoire, now that you've put all this effort in, don't let it melt away. Come back to this piece regularly. Look for opportunities to tweak things, making them a little better. Maybe make sure that you have it memorized, because that will always improve the quality of your performance. And don't lose sight of that goal. Start looking for an opportunity now to perform what you have learned for other people. Maybe through a video call with some friends and family, maybe as part of a virtual service, but don't wait. Don't wait for it to be perfect, because more often than not, performance isn't perfect. However, the practice of performance, going out and repeatedly putting ourselves out in front of an audience, be it through a camera or in front of live people when it's safe to do that, is how we get better at that. So as much as we prepare the piece itself, get it under our hands, get it in our minds, being prepared to be in front of people is another part of being a musician. So I encourage you, don't wait. Start looking for an opportunity to perform. And if you'd like a little bit of feedback about your performance, I invite you to reach out to me at danielreck.com/contact and shoot me a link with a private video, and I'd be happy to have a look at your video and give you a little bit of personal feedback as well. But like I said, don't wait. Look for an opportunity to perform, and as always, ring on. Engelbert Humperdinck's evening prayer from his evening prayer. Oh my God, Engelbert Humperdinck's dink, Humperdonk, or maybe even in a